Hi guys, it's me, Fly with me FPV, and what I have here is a UB almost ready to fly 130mm quad. So I got this from SN Hobbies, and I will unbox, review, or look at the components and see why or why not if this is a really good platform if you're interested in the 130 frame that is almost ready to fly. I think from what I've read, this only needs a receiver, and you should be good to go. So let's see what's inside the box. Well, this is also covered with plastic, but I removed that. But other than that, this is how it looks like. So we got battery straps, some servo connectors, and I believe this is a linear antenna over here. Put that aside. We got two sets of propellers. 4-blade, and it's a 3-inch with a pitch of 3, so 3 by 3 by 4. So two sets. Let's put that aside. We got a very nice manual with, I believe, information, specifications, and some more information about the components of the quad. So very nice. That's a very good touch for a ARF product. Now, as I go through the quad, I'll just read some of the stuff about this UB. Very well packaged. Yeah, it's kind of tough to pull out the phone, which is good, so that when it gets transported, it's not it doesn't incur any damage because of some bumps and stuff. Anyways, from what I read on specification, this is it has an F3 board, and it has an integrated 40-channel 5.8 gigahertz VTX, which is really cool, and I'm really excited to open this, remove this canopy and look inside. So it's usually from right off the bat I can say that's an XT30 over there. It might be an issue with other pilots, but for me it's fine because all my batteries that I use for my 130 frames are on XT30. This is also using BL Heli S 20 amp ESCs, which I believe is a 4-in-1 ESC, and then a 30 millimeter board. So we will check that out once we've opened this canopy. 3600 kV. So again, a 1306 3600 kV motors, which I believe has a counterclockwise, clockwise nuts, which is still common with motors now, like the Emax, but some motors are just using a clockwise nut. So anyways, let's pop this open. Alright, there you go. So if you read it, if you Google this, or I will include the specifications on the description part of this video, it's using one of these micro FPV cameras, and I believe this is a 100 field of view 600 TVL CMOS camera that can do PAL and NTSC. Now we will check if we have the ability to actually change the setting of this camera. If not, then I'll indicate that on the later part of the video. So there you go. On the, I think this is the VTX. So that's your SMA connector, and that's the LED channel indicator frequency, and that's the button over there too. So anyways, that's the inside of this Youbi ARF quad. The things here, I think the standoff is not really screwed in tight. I think it's jamming on one of the wires there. Anyways, other than that, it's a pretty clean build. Now, what I noticed is that there's I think they dremeled or machined groove in here to pass the wires to from the motor to the ESC, which you know, from a build perspective, it's clean, right? Because it's not protruding up. But from a structural integrity, it might have affected the strength of these arms. But I don't know. I mean, from what I can tell, this is pretty sturdy, pretty strong. So, and with these 130 quads, I mean, the mass that you could put in here, like probably the heaviest battery is a 4S 850, which I believe can this quad can take. So we'll have to test that as well in the later part of you know, our evaluation of this ARF quad. Okay, let's measure the. I have a caliper, and we'll measure the, you know, the size of or the thickness of the. So it is about 2 millimeters. So the frame itself is a unibody. If you can see, there's only, you know, one frame that holds everything, and it's about yeah, it's 2 millimeter base plate. So that is good. I mean, I've seen other frames that are thicker, but again, it's all about where you're gonna fly it, how you're gonna fly it. If you're gonna fly it hard and, you know, slam this into walls or gates or whatever, it might be able to take it. But yeah, it seems to be very strong. It can hold. It flexes a bit, but you know, that's fine. All right, so I'll pop this open and see what is underneath. So, this is the 4-in-1 ESC, which is, as indicated on the documentation, it runs B-Hel Heli S. We will check what version it's running on, and yeah, it looks really clean. The soldering, I would say, you know, it's okay. It's not really that bad. The only thing is this is that I noticed that when this came in, one of the wires are actually stuck onto this standoff. So when they screwed it in, it's kind of like it's not damaged. It's just so. What else can I say about this? It's a 4-in-1. I have my opinion on these type of ESCs. I mean, you know, when, for example, in an event that one breaks, you have to change the whole board. But again, it gives you, you know, a very clean build, because when I do builds, I usually have the ESCs on the arms, which is can be a pain if depending on the type of ESC that you're using, because you know, the length of the ESCs might be too long, and it's I have another 130 build, and the ESC is very close to the motor, and sometimes that's a pain to solder. So with this one, I mean, you have it all in here, which is really clean, and pairing it with is the flight controller and the VTX, that gives you a very clean and streamlined build here. The stack is pretty, you know, it's pretty small, and with the canopy, you know, gives you a bit of lot of protection and not damaging those components over there. So anyways, that's my initial thoughts. Now, one of the build videos that I've seen is that they kind of saw this as a, you know, it's not really a bad thing, but I think it would be very challenging to adjust the the angle of the camera because of this plastic mount that was included. But anyways, I'm pretty sure we could, you know, hack that a bit, or with the hot glue we could adjust the angle, because you know, depending on your skill level, if you want to go fast, which is, you know, for the 130s, I in my experience, you could easily go fast with these small quads, and the tendency is your quad will be, you know, going this way, but if you notice, you know, the angle of the camera will be pointing at the ground. So some of the more skilled pilots will want to probably have this with a higher angle, so that when they go fast, you know, it's still pointing forward. Also got to put this all back and measure the weight of everything installed without the batteries. So there you go. With the propellers on, and the antenna and the battery strap, inside the battery strap, it's 123 grams. So without battery, let's compare it to another 130 quad that I have, that I'm using, and remove the battery and see how. So there you go. That's a significant difference. This is a 130 with propellers on, without the battery and the strap. It's 163 grams. So just to give you an idea of the weight of this Youbi ARF 130 frame. So that's what's inside. Stock came out from the box. Now again, this is an ARF. You need to add your receiver in order to use this quad. So I'm using a Tranis, so it's gonna be an XSR receiver that I will put inside. I'm just trying to figure out. It just has a lot of space on top of here underneath this canopy, so I'm probably gonna put it in there and mate in it.